Welcome to my 69 tips and tricks video in honor of actually keeping, or trying to, 169 mods for a very long time. Thank you. Let's get started. So, first of all, we have the quality of life. I would like to recommend click on options, then onto video settings and on shaders. For the complementary shader I am using for this entire video, I highly recommend it. If you have never used one, it is very nice. Next on, we're going to go into the FirstAid Mod UI. You can change it in mod options, look up for the first aid. I like to type first and then go onto the config button. Up here you can change the overlay so you can see your heart being changed live. Let's make the overlay mode change to hearts. You're just gonna click on it until you see that. That's what I prefer. You can choose another one. And the display mode, to immediately show it, we're gonna make the time be -1. This guarantees you will show your health changing immediately. The last thing I really want to recommend is how to use JEI, or just about everything. On the right side, you can see there's actually a search bar, and I'm gonna click on the weight stone right behind that title. Sorry about that. I'm gonna click on R for the recipes, and this will show me all the things that it, or the recipe for the waste stone. I'm then gonna click on U over the nether star to see the uses. As you can see, there's quite a couple of things like a beat gun and the waste stone that we just came back from. Very nifty, and I really recommend you use this on your playthrough. For the early game, I really like using shields and sabers because they help you reduce the amount of damage that you intake, and you gotta be very careful, especially since it's so dangerous. That is how you make a basic shield for level 1, and the saber I am showing right now, because it actually reduces incoming damage by 25% by just holding it in your hand. It also does a decent amount of damage when you're first starting, so it's probably some of the best starter weapons you can use. I also like to use different weapons. There's actually a bunch you can make thanks to the Spartan mod. As you can see here, the very first one that I use is the saber that is just represented. I like to also use the scythe to do AoE damage. I like to use a pike for a little bit of extra distance, the stone flang mace for extra bonus undead damage, and the last one, the silver, for an even more bonus for it. The saw is a tool that gives you the maximum amount of wood harvested. An axe does not do it directly. The Mattock is a multifunctional tool as a spade and an axe. You can make both of diamond. I prefer the saw. If you actually add advanced efficiency levels 4 or higher, you insta-mine most blocks in the game. One of the few exceptions though is obsidian. It doesn't work against it. Just use other tools, a pickaxe for example. The last one I want to go over is the Paxel. You're going to make a lesser equipment station for this version, that is the wooden Paxel, but it has a mining speed of an iron axe, spade, and pickaxe. Not as high quality, so don't try to mine some lower level ores with it, but very cheap to make if you have the required amount of building level for it. Give it a try. Very useful and very fast to replace too. I really like it early game. Easily purify water with a cauldron. Place some lava or a heat source, then a cauldron, fill it up with water, get rid of any surrounding blocks, and when you see the bubbles, you can actually fill out your canteen for purified water. Quick and easy. You can drink it directly, but it hurts you too. An atlas is one of the best items you can use for exploration and marking stuff. Make sure you make a copy just in case you die by placing an empty one next to a completed one to have multiple. Place it in your chest somewhere, yeah. Throwable weapons are great, especially early game, to get some range from your opponent and you. One of the cheapest ones is actually the throwing knife. You can also make a javelin by using a pole and putting it as such. It has more damage, but it has less things to throw. This is me throwing the knives, 16 as a matter of fact, and these are the javelins, out of 4. Great for damage. Yeah, check it out. Oh, there we go. Make a knife to cut resources made out of 1 iron ingot as well as a stick or something else. Put the knife in one of your hands and the item you wish to cut on the other one. I'm going to cut the leather cap, but I equipped the other ones because I didn't have anything on. Be careful of that. You can also place the blocks. Cut the cobwebs and you'll get a lot of leather and strings this way. You control your temperature with lava buckets and ooze. You can actually see that being affected on my temperature gauge down there. However, they can be dangerous because they spawn mobs. So using a gas tier, you can cleanse them and get a safer version of these that does not spawn dangerous mobs. However, they can still burn or hurt you, so be careful about that. Yeah, lava still will burn things and ooze will still hurt you for being too cold. The Toolbelts are very nice because it allows you to add items to it. Non-stackable though. Works like a mini shulker. You can equip it onto your belt slot right here, and the first 2 items that you add will be visible on the player at all times. Kind of cool for a multiplayer if you want to do some fashion. You can switch them out too by clicking on R, holding it, and you'll be able to choose what you want to put in or out of it. You can upgrade it too with belt pouches, but it casts a couple of levels. I'm gonna upgrade it 1, 2, and 3 times, and you can then again equip it onto your belt slot and switch out stuff. I'm going to insert a couple of things until it is completely full, and you can switch it out by just selecting what you want to trade it out with. One of my favorite tools. Sometimes I keep it until endgame. Then we have the backpack. You can place it on the ground and you can put any amount of items you want on it. To put it on your back, you need to have nothing in your hand or your body, break it, and then everything is going to be on your backpack. You actually see it on your player model too. To place it back on the ground, just crouch and right click, it'll place it down for you. I'm breaking it just for demonstration purposes normally. You can also color them with any dye. I'm gonna make my backpack black because I like to. Remember, yeah, just fill it up with whatever you want, put all the pieces inside, crouch, break it, and you'll have it on your player character. Potion rings are very cheap to make. They only need 4 gold and 1 block of lapis lazuli. Some examples are the Ring of Speed, the Ring of Jump Boost, the Ring of Haste, and the Ring of Strength. I really like these 2, like the Regeneration and Resistance, but they're very expensive with a Hydra Heart and Heart of Diamond respectively. There's some secret rings too, but you have to find those exploring. You can also stack 2 rings. As you see, I put on 2 rings of Strength and it gave me Strength too. You can very easily avoid Sirens by just putting on some earplugs. I just avoided their lure effect, as you can see right now, and they're very cheap to make. Some of the best or starter gear you can make with 2 buttons as such. There we go. And oh yeah, sea serpents are very, very hard to deal with. Glad that was not me. This modpack has some very atrocious potion effects, like spitting or perplexity. If you guys go through this, you'll know what I'm talking about. Make sure you always have some milk. This also gives you a bonus if you're playing as a faceless race. I always like to have one on my tool belt. Always carry one. Also, Netherrack furnaces are very cheap to make. As you saw, it only requires 8 Netherrack, and it actually smelts faster than a regular furnace. You can also pick up items like workstations, as I just saw, and animals. Just don't have anything in either of your tools. It looks very funny when you carry animals too. You can also make reforging stations by doing the following 2 recipes, but one is for baubles and the other one is for qualities. This one is to reforge their quality. You can actually do this for any bauble, and it only works for those specifically. And for the quality of items, not only baubles, you can reforge the quality here by using the proper item, like iron boots require iron ingots. One of my favorite ones is to have one be with the tall or masterful boots, which actually allow you to walk up 1 block gaps in height. You can also do this by other methods. For example, you can activate your agility skill at level 32 with Hill Walker, which will do basically the exact same thing, but this does require level 32. Very useful and nifty, especially for exploration. The Scarlite Reaver is one of the best early game weapons you can use, as it has some lifesteal effects. It is kind of tricky to get, but once you do, you can actually steal some life here. I don't know if it's hard to see, but I actually got some hearts from hitting these pigs right now, and it heals you. Yeah. You can also make a healing pad with items from that same biome, that is the Defiled biome. Yeah, you can exchange this, and when you step on it, you actually get the Regeneration 2 effect as well. You can also smelt pet armor, like golden pet armor, wolf armor, and normal armor too. If you're getting a lot of this armor, make sure that you smelt it to get even more resources. This is how I get most of my items when I'm looting or exploring out in the early game, and can be and save you in a pinch. Really like it. Amphitheaters are some of the best early game mounts. You have to shift with nothing in your hand, right click, and mount them. They are going to be making a lot of damage to you, as you can currently see on the screen, so I highly recommend that you have some decent armor until eventually you do get them to love you, or tame them. It can be quite tricky. I got very unlucky on this clip, but eventually you'll see the hearts and you can control them. You can actually control them in the ground too. They have an activatable attack by clicking on X. They look very nice. They always appear on jungle biomes, so sometimes you can find them. You can shoot them down with an arrow and they'll actually fall to the ground. Here I'm actually trying to activate the X attack. There we go. Yeah, some free damage, and you can dismount them with shift. They will protect themselves if they try to be attacked. As you can see right here, it is actually defending itself. Oh, you can also control while sitting, following, and wandering too. The summoning staff is very cheap and easy to make with 1 gold ingot, a bone, and an ender pearl. You can summon anything that is summonable and you have 100 experience in that for. I'm going to be using a Jengu for this demonstration. Equip the summoning staff, right click until you see this green portal, and it'll activate. They will actually attack or protect you from whatever is attacking you. You can change this interaction on the summoning menu. Some of them are more effective than others. I personally recommend getting the Soulgazer to get more experience by just making this recipe. You just right click it on any mob that you can get experience from. You also get experience from killing them too. I personally like Aegis. They're very easy to get. Early game bows are very good to make. I like to usually get to the diamond strengthening longbow, which can be done for just a couple of items, and the diamond strengthening crossbow. You can make other qualities as well, but usually by the point that I can make them, I enchant them with infinity because they actually give you arrows infinitely, but unlike vanilla, you do not need to have an arrow in your inventory, nor crossbows. Crossbows are better for far range fighting. You can tame mobs by feeding them treats. You first need to make sure that you have enough knowledge. If you don't have enough, you can just feed them treats to max out knowledge. And then once you do that, keep on feeding them so you get more taming points. Eventually, when you max it out, it'll show the hearts. You can make them essentially immortal. Well, they do die, but you can bring them back from death by using this soul stone here. You can also mount them by making a specialized mount. You can give them other stuff too. I really like the R'ecipe specifically because it provides some very fast travel for sand. It has an X special attack, and Dregora has a lot of pre-generated areas, like this beautiful one right here in the center of the world. Explore and see if you can find them all. I personally really like using the frozen dagger. It is very cheap to make, but getting the witherbone can be tricky. What's special about them is that if you are in water while it's holding one, they actually get mended. As you can see, I'm going to break this block. It actually caused a little bit of damage, and I'm healing it back up by just touching the water. There's a lot of customized weapons you can find too, like Gandalf's staff, the Gungnir, and the Stonebreaker. There are a couple of others, but this is an example. I love the Stonebreaker. It gives you a lot of extra damage, as you can see here. Yeah, just by holding it in the offhand. That's proof. Check out if you can find anything. Gandalf stuff is very fun too. A lot of these can be just for memes and laughs, but it's just something more to look forward to. I like it. There are also a lot of cursed items you can find, and they do have a bonus, but they also have something that takes away from you, like this one that takes max health and luck. That's a lot. There's a lot of special trade villagers that you can find in the world. Yep, like this brutal merchant. There's a video for that. Check it out on my channel. And the gem trader, which also has some other very special trades. Watch out for these mental variants that give you debuffs when you right click him, and the sussy variants which, well, you saw what happened. The parasite biome is very useful for finding specifically trolls and hearts in the midsection. Just dig down until you see this part of the biome. This pretty much happens everywhere for a lot of trolls that give you troll tusks and hide, and twisted shamblers that drop black hearts. Be careful of parasites though. You can also remove courses that you may be unlucky to get via various resources. If you find a potion of curse break in your travels, drink one. It'll randomly remove one from any of the pieces you're currently equipping. Be very careful of it removing the curse of possession though, if you're using it. You can also summon a skeleton king by making a king's crown be activated with all of these different items on the screen. You place down a skeleton head, then the crown on it, on a desert biome, and when you kill it, you can get a lot of exclusive weapons. It is randomized, but they're very useful. I am in creative, so I'm not having any trouble whatsoever, but it can be very fun and get some unique items. As you can see here, you also get the crown that allows you to be immune or not targeted by some of these skeletons. Some of these items are the War, Azrael Scythe, Cursed Famine set, and some other ones. Yeah, give it a try. Clearing Dead Blood, if you're having trouble with this item that actually dispels you or gets rid of all of your buffs, you can clean it with water. You can make an easy underneath portal with Hive Soil that's everywhere on the Parasite biome. Just make the exact same portal you would for the Nether, and you're ready to cross it. Alternatively, if you want to be a little bit less unsafe or have the fun of your life, jump into the Void. Easy. You can also make lockpicks to open these kinds of chests. This is one of the cheapest ones. You can make it out of various items, gold, diamond, as well as these wooden ones. Right click it to play this mini game. Be careful, you can break them, so you gotta shift it until you find the right pattern here. You can click escape to unlock once you get the right pattern and claim the loot. The grappling hook is an amazing item. I love to use at all times. It is very cheap to make with an iron pick and a lead. You can use it to swing up, down, and save yourself a lot of trouble traveling. I highly recommend that you test it on creative. Be careful of kinetic damage and fall damage. You will likely find runes in your travels. To read them, you need to make a rune reader. It does need 2 crafting rooms to be sacrificed to it though, but they will be useful. Make the advanced rune reader to know what you're actually making. Do know that every single recipe is different for every single world that you make. The advanced rune reader lets you see what you're doing. I'm going to be making a bound axe, for example. It actually serves a purpose of staying in your inventory even upon death. I'm going to demonstrate it right here. I am about to die, and if you want to keep it, you can see right there. You can also make grave scrolls to return where you were last left this earth. You can only use 1 per lifetime. I'm using it. Just make sure that it's not somewhere dangerous. I did do it near a lava source. You can make a lot of drinks. My favorite one being cactus juice. Something extra so you can make cactus fruit to eat it too. And then little known fact, you just need sugar, you need a waddle bottle, you're gonna fill it, you're gonna purify it by putting it in a furnace so it gets purified. I have one in my inventory, put it there in the inventory, put some cactus and the sugarcane. Cactus juice.
Cactus juice. It'll quench you. Nothing's quenchier.
You can cultivate crops in the desert for free. Usually you have to deal with seasons, but it's always a good idea to live next to a desert. Alternatively, you can also use greenhouse glass instead, and they'll grow in every single season. To make greenhouse glass, you need to follow this recipe. Honestly, the hardest thing to get is cyan. You can also make carpentry crates by making our carpentry bench. You need some building level for this. I recommend that you make the Varied Commodities book by just putting 2 books together. I know it's weird. There's a lot of recipes that are not used in this mod pack, but one that is the crate. Just basically make a full circle in the crafting grid, and the crate is gonna be yours. It works basically as a double chest in one space. You can also make Lycanite food. Some of the best sources are those combined, like the Mossy Pie, the Bulwark Burger, the Devil Lasagna, the Paleo Salad, and the Blood Chili. But my favorite one, after the Peaks Kebab, is the Battle Burrito. It gives you so many buffs. Give it a try. Great for endgame. You can also unload and load dragons by making and messing your render distance. You may want to not do this if you consider this cheating, but I don't care. It's your game. Do whatever you want. You can unload it, approach it to be extra careful, and save some of your items if you go back in with a grave scroll. As soon as you hear it, do note that it can see you. If you want to fight it again, just make your render distance be very big again. There you go. Wait, where is he? Oh, there he is. There's 3 types of teleporting scrolls. The return scroll that just takes you to the last place, the bound scroll, which is bound to a specific waystone, and the warp scroll, which takes you anywhere. I'm gonna bind this one to this one right here. I'm gonna go to the latest one I was back with the return. I'm gonna use the bound one to go back where I just was. There's a little bit of lag, sorry about that, guys. It should be immediate. There we go. And the warp scroll that works like a waystone. It takes you anywhere, but for free! One of the best items I recommend, but the most expensive too. Some of the most useful potions you can use when traveling to very hot or very cold places is using the potion of heat resistance. It actually prevents hypothermia, and gets rid of it too if you have it. You'll still be burning on the temperature gauge, but it'll be fine. The cold resistant potion does exactly the same. Do note though, this does not protect you from lava or heat source damage, or the other way around for freezing ooze with the ice cold one too. Now that we're in the Nether, you can also make steel items, or the steel Paxel. Steel is a very unique tool that is made out of 3 items, since Sinnicide being the hardest one to get that is exclusive to the Nether. You can get it with, just pickaxing it. I'm gonna make a steel Paxel with it by making a steel guard, also making a steel base, and the steel Paxel head itself. As you can see here, I'm just gonna put it here, the exact same recipe, but now with steel that you would do with a wood crafted equipment. Pretty nifty. You can enchant harvesting tools like a pickaxe with Fortune 4. You just need an ancient tome found exploring, like such. You can also use an archaeologist's hat, and effectively you're gonna get Fortune 5. The archaeologist's hat, it gives you a 25% chance per mined ore to give you an extra one, effectively making it so you get up to 5 ores. There's some that are not affected, like silver or iron, that'll just break the block, but if you add smelting, the enchantment will work. Let's give it a try. This first one gave me 4, the second one gave me another 4, and this last one gave me 5. Neat, especially for silver. Canteens are one of your best friends in RLCraft. You can make the basic one by just using a bunch of leather, then cover that in iron for the next one, and the last one out of dragon can be made with a dragon skull and a heart. You can fill it up by just putting and using them on a block of water source. You can purify the normal canteen and the iron canteen by using charcoal filters as such. Just get it purified. You can also do this for the other one, and you don't need it for the dragon one. It auto purifies it. Netherreed, it grows the exact same as sugar canes. Just put it over a netherrack or next to a lava source. It is used for sugar as well as some other useful things like the demon trees. You can get ender biotite in the end. It spawns and replaces some of these end blocks when you kill the ender dragon, and it despawns. The more dragons you kill, the more this will replace in the end island. It actually just spawned on the left top corner. I just circled it on the screen. Also, don't forget to get the ender dragon scales to make use of it for other very powerful items. Make sure you mind this too. The Ankh Charm and Shield are some of the best baubles in the game, made out of a combination of many other baubles. The Forbidden Fruit from a husk, the Vitamins from an Elder Guardian, and the Ring of Free Action. The Ring of Free Action is made out of a Ring of Overclocking and a Shulker Heart, each gotten from a Stray and a Shulker. You can also need to use the sunglasses, which are made out of Spectral Silt, glass, and a stick. You can get Spectral Silt in many different places, and the Mixed Color Dragon Scale. This is made with Bezor, dropped by poison spiders or cave spiders, and the Black Dragon Scale, which is made out of a Nether Star, an Ender Dragon Scale, and a Cracked Black Dragon Scale. You can also turn it into a shield by getting a cobalt shield. No way to make it, you just need to find it. You need to combine it with an obsidian school. You can actually make the obsidian school. It's not a very bad thing to make, or the material's not too hard to take. You combine them together in an anvil to make the obsidian shield, and then you put that in an anvil with an Ankh Charm to make it a shield. You could use it as a normal shield, put enchantments on it too, or put it on yourself on a body slot for fashion. It looks pretty cool too. Check it out. When dealing with parasites, you might find yourself across the fear debuff that doesn't let you left click. It's very annoying. Just use a teddy bear and it'll avoid it completely. Very useful. You can shield now. The Malgalage fight can be very scary, especially for the suction attack that insta-kills you, so using a web hook to just, lodge yourself anywhere is going to be very useful. Right now I'm being sucked in and I cannot be pulled in. Do note that in a normal arena, you may have some trouble doing this, so make sure you're careful. Unlike vanilla Minecraft, there's a lot of items that do not burn in the lava. They're actually safe. There's a couple exceptions though, like crates, potion rings, and wood-based items. Be careful, especially when fighting dragons, as they do tend to set a lot of stuff on fire. Pirate hats in Dregora do not take any damage whatsoever. Check out the ballads in the bottom part of my screen. You can actually enchant them with anything you want. I really like using advanced thorns on them too. Mimics spawn from pre-gen chests, each one from a double chest. After opening one with a lock also spawns them, and normal ones as well. Try to open all of them. They all have a chance to spawn mimics. Glass frames are very good if you do not like to have an outline to your items. You can use them to place them as such, and you can get them back easily by clicking on them. They're very easy to make. You just require a bunch of glass panes as well as an item frame. Medkits and enchanted medkits can be enchanted with Unbreaking 3 as well as Mending to have many more uses and increase their lifetime, even infinitely. In this video, I'm actually using them twice, with the Unbreaking 3 activating and one without. Witches can be actually ignored to be aggroed even if you attack them, as long as you're using a witch hat. Unfortunately, you have to kill witches to get it. Also, if you take it off, they will aggro you again, and if you try to put them back on, well, it won't work. You can also level up your pets by using the appropriate charges. As you can see here, I am leveling up my R'ecipe. You need to get the appropriate charges to left click them with. This one requires arcane elements. You can also get armor set bonuses. They're very useful. I really like golden leggings for early game because they give you a bonus on magic focus and magic shield. Weapons that are made out of gold also get a bonus. You get immunization as well as strength 1 by using Umbrium armor. And the last set, but there's many more, don't fret, is a silver set, which gives you cure as well as a speed boost. You can also make invisible armor out of leather armor. It is the only armor in the entire game that turns invisible. Teddy bears do have skins, and they have special names to them. There is Cruel, for example. There's also Freddy to make it look scary. There's also the Bee to make it look like a bee. And to show you what they look in-game, you can see them right here. I did place them, and you can also use them to decorate your entire world. Try them all. They're pretty cool. Respawn statues can be gotten in the Nether. You can mine them too, and they can be used to set your spawn. As you can see, you can teleport back. Usually this is not normally done. They are also mineable with a pickaxe. You get them and you can place them anywhere and in any given dimension. Very nice. You can get evolution points by everything that you're equipping currently. Armor, right and left hand. As you can see here, I had 0 in all of them. I killed this parasite, and everything, including the bow on my left hand, is getting points, even though I did not use it to attack directly. Tip 69, make a moon rose to get cheap max mana. When you create it, just place it on the ground like this and crouch next to it. Don't worry, you can pick it back up by destroying it. And after shifting for a while, you're basically meditating, it'll actually increase your max mana by 10, up to a maximum of 100 in total. Bonus! A lot of different dimensions are actually connected. From the overworld, if you just keep falling down until you go into the void, you'll actually go into the underworld. Something that pretty much a lot of players know at this point. That's how many of them get there. But if you actually keep going down, a very interesting fact is that you'll actually end up in the Nether. If you keep on going down, you'll actually fall into the normal void. You will die, don't do that. But if you go back up, you can actually go back to the underworld. However, you can't go back from the underworld to the overworld this method. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope it helped you guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to leave a comment down below. And subscribing and liking this video really helps out. Feel free to join my Discord in the link below too. Take care.